Hello everybody, it's Maikito. First of all, getting out the way, the giveaway that I had from 2 videos ago. As I uploaded the last video, the giveaway winner Tim had texted me. So at that point, there was no point in like re-recording everything. But I'll put the screenshot up now. I sent him the money again. Congratulations to him when it came to that. And then when it comes to last video's picks, the ones from the video themselves, I sent 5 and went 2 for 3 on those. The two that had mainly missed from the USA game was when the US got a red card like 13 minutes in, screwed up everything. There was literally no reason for him to get that card. Like, he should have got it. It was a well-deserved one, but there was no reason for him to go out there and just hit somebody in the face for no reason. So it was just very unlucky for us. I feel like both of those props would have hit. And then I also added 4 plays in the YouTube description. Valverde hired in 2 shots, Nunez hired in 2.5, Uruguay hired in 2.5 goals, and Nunez 3 added plays. Sorry, not 4. 3 added plays, and all 3 of those hit. So I went 3-0 on all the added plays. So overall, with all the picks, I went 5 for 3. So it would have been a much better day if the US would have came through for us, but Uruguay did come through for us. So overall, still a decent day. And I didn't post yesterday just because there weren't many props that I liked in general. But the Euro quarterfinals round of 16 starts tomorrow, as well as some Copa America games. And I went through, found some props that I did like 4 of them. So I'll get straight into that. My first prop is Jorginho to go higher than 74.5 passes, playing for Italy, went up against Switzerland. He went over in 2 out of 3 games this tournament. He had 130 versus Albania, where they had 68% of the ball. Italy did. The one where he went under, he had 31 against Spain, and he was subbed out at halftime when with 43% of the ball, and that was because they needed more aggressive players, and he was the one that was sacrificed. But in the third game, he had 77 passes and went over against Croatia, where they had 53% of the ball. He got subbed out at the 81st minute, so they still had about 11 minutes to go, and he got subbed out and still went over this mark, which is good for us. Again, the only game where he went under is where he got subbed out at halftime, but I don't expect that to happen in the next game. And in Switzerland, their opponents gave Germany 66% of the ball, which is very, very high. But you also got to keep into account that Switzerland took the lead somewhat early, so they were just mainly focusing on defending. But they gave Scotland 48% of the ball and Hungary 50% of the ball. 2 teams, while no disrespect to them, they shouldn't be allowing the opponents of their level to hold the ball for that long. They should have had it longer than that. So I expect Italy to have around 54 to 58% of the ball. And if they get that, I like this spot for Jorginho. And in knockout games, while yes, there's goal scoring and stuff like that, when it comes to like the build-up play and players passing around, it tends to be slower in pace, which is good for us because Switzerland are not going to want to be too risky in pressing because they don't want to risk conceding a counterattack or leaving a lot of space. So I expect it to be more pace for Italy and a slower paced game when it comes to passing the ball around, which will give him more opportunities. And he's the one that kind of stays back with defenders and helps with the build-up play, help relieve pressure whenever they have the ball and stuff like that. So I think this is a good mark, and it's a good spot for Jorginho to go higher than 74.5 passes. My next play on the other side for Switzerland, it is Breel Embolo to go higher than 0.5 fouls. He had 1 start out of the 3 games, and in that start, he went over and only played 65 minutes, which is good for us. He's an aggressive player. If you go back to this season, he only had 5 games because due to injury, and he only started 2 of those, and he still had 3 fouls. So he averaged over 1 per 90 minutes. In last season, he had 32 games. He started 19, so he started about half of them, and he had 50 fouls, averaging 2.43 per 90. In the World Cup, he played 3 games. He had 3 fouls and played 4 games, so he averaged almost 1 a game. So I just wanted to show you the fact that he's an aggressive player and that he's not afraid to get physical with opponents, and he's gonna be trying to break up Italy's build-up play. If I predict, like I said, that they're gonna have less possession, he's gonna be up there trying to. Since he's the striker, then he'll be up there pressing them. There's not too much risk in him being up there because he's not relied upon too much defensively, and all he needs to do to get a foul is go up in the air, try to beat an opponent. He hits him or something like that. He could trip a player unintentionally, but that's still a foul. He could try to go for the ball, and it's a bad tackle. I just think it's a good spot for him, for an aggressive player like him, to go higher than 0.5 fouls. My next play is Manuel Neuer to go higher than 2 saves, playing for Germany going up against Denmark. I just feel like in general this is a safe spot. He has two plus saves in 2 out of 3 games. And when you look at Denmark's shots against opponents this tournament so far, they have 4 on target against Slovenia, 7 on target versus England, and 3 on target versus Serbia. So I expect at least 3 shots on target for Denmark. They could easily get 4, maybe 5, but I expect at least 3 from them. And I think Norwich at least save 2 of them so we can push, and obviously he can save that third. That's good for us. Again, I think this is a safe spot for him. And Denmark are a really good team off the counter. I expect Germany to have more of the ball than Denmark. Denmark are not afraid to sit back and be patient with trying to take the ball from the opponent. And they're a good team off the counter attack. Their fullbacks, whenever they attack and they're off the counter, they have their 2 strikers up top. They have their fullbacks that press up. So they have close to 4 players in the box, and then they have Eriksen behind them to facilitate the ball. So they're good off the counter attack. And I just don't think Denmark is a team that's going to perform bad. For example, if you take the World Cup 2 years ago, they only lost in penalties against Croatia, who was a really good team at the time in the World Cup and stuff like that. So it shows you that Denmark are not going to be a team that's just going to get destroyed against Germany. I don't expect that to happen. I expect them to stay in this game. And at 2.0, I think it's a safe spot. I like Neuer to go higher than 2 saves. My next play is a safe play you can take on Price Picks, and that's Kai Havertz to go higher than 1.5 shots. He's had 2+ in all 3 games. He's gone over this mark in all 3 games. And the first 2 games that he played, he had 2 shots, and he got subbed out in the 63rd minute and the 58th minute due to them already being winning and not wanting to risk him getting injured or anything like that, which is good for us, which shows you that even in those minutes, he played 2/3 of the game and still went over this mark. And in the last game, he played all 90 minutes versus Switzerland because they drew and they wanted to try to get that win. And in that game where he played those 90 minutes, he had 6 shots. We just need him to take 2. I expect a lot of minutes out of him. He's good at making runs in behind defenders, and he's a pretty good and decent aerial threat that they can find off the corners and stuff like that. So I think this is a safe spot. You can add. I like Kai Havertz to go higher than 1.5 shots. My next pick on the other side for Denmark is Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg to go lower than 1.5 fouls. Game like as mentioned before, games like this tend to be slower paced when it comes to them passing the ball around. They're not as aggressive. It's not like the Copa America. This is the Euros. They're much more technical, and I expect this game to be much slower paced. And he's not that aggressive. He's gone under this mark in 2 out of 3. Yes, he's had 1 and all 3 of them. It's just whether he gets that second, and I don't think he does. When you look at the games from when he used to play every single game, for example, 2 seasons ago when he played all games, he had 38 fouls in 35 games. He averaged 1, not 2, not even close to 2. And then the season before that, he had 28 fouls in 36 starts. Again, he averaged less than a foul. And even in this season, he still played 36 games. He only started 8 of them, but in those, he averaged 1.39 fouls per 90. So he doesn't even average close to 2. And he's just not one that whenever Denmark, even when they do try to press the ball and take the ball, he's not one of those that are pressing. He's one of those that there just in case the other team is countering them, and he's there to stop the ball. So he's not one to press. He might get 1. I do not think he'll get 2. I like Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg to go lower than 1.5 fouls. And then my last player prop is in the Copa America. It is Angel Di Maria to go higher than 0.5 shots on target, playing for Argentina, going against Peru. This is another safe one you can take. I think he gets this. He's had 1 start out of the 2 games, and he went over in that mark. And I like this play a lot, especially because Messi is likely to not play this game due to because he's a little bit injured, and 2, there's no reason to risk him. Argentina already secured their spot in the next round, so even if he is fit to play, I don't expect Messi to start, and I expect Di Maria to be there and take his role on that right side. He's a good facilitator. He is other than Messi, he's Argentina's most important player throughout the last decade. A very, very underrated player of this generation. And he's gone over this mark in his last 5 out of 5 starts when he's played for Argentina. And Peru allowed a decent amount of shots against high-class teams. And I think this is a safe spot. He'll shoot from anywhere. He'll cut inside, shoot on his left. He shoots from his left on the other side when he plays on the right. And even if he somehow finds himself on the left, I can see him shooting from outside the box there. I think it's a safe spot for him, especially if he starts and Messi doesn't. I really like this spot. I like Di Maria to go higher than 0.5 shots on target. I want to give a quick shout out to my partner Underdog Fantasy. You can use code Maikito, link to the description, They'll match your first deposit up to $100. And then I also have the membership that's available. It's next to the subscribe button if you guys are interested. It's just for those that want to get the content out early before anybody else. It doesn't change the content at all. Like I said, it's just for those that want to get it out early and try to avoid potential bumps and plays getting taken away, because it does tend to happen after I post these videos, just because of how often people bet on stuff after I post and stuff like that. So if you want to try to avoid that, you can join the membership. And then I also have my Fliff and my Cashapp linked in the description if you guys want to use those. I appreciate anybody who supports me in any way. When it comes to money lines and the Euros, like I said, those tend to be very unpredictable, but I did try to find two that I did like. If I do find more, I'll let you guys know. But for the first one, it is for the Switzerland-Italy game to go higher than 1.5 goals. In the 6 games that they've played between them, 3 for Switzerland, 3 for Italy in total, they've gone over this mark in 5 out of 6. Switzerland have gone over in all 3 games, and Italy have only gone. Italy went over in 2 out of 3 games. The one that they missed was when they lost 1-0 to Spain. But I expect them to score against Switzerland. In the last 10 games, Switzerland have scored in the last 8 out of 10, and Italy have scored in the last 7 out of 10, which is what needs to happen pretty much each team to score. And one of them could easily score 2 goals on their own, and this mark hits for us. But it's really more upon whether each team both score, and I think they will. And both teams need to take advantage of both teams are good at taking advantage of the chances that they get. They're both pretty clinical teams. They both have pretty clinical players. So if they get the opportunities, a couple of opportunities, I can see each of them starting at least one of them. We just need both of the game in general to have 2 goals. And both teams are likely to play 3-backs, which again shows that both teams are going to go out there and be aggressive and try to score those goals. So I just need pretty much each one to score 1 or one of them to score 2. I like this mark. It is a Switzerland-Italy game to go higher than 1.5 goals. And my last one, it is the Germany money line against Denmark. I think you're getting pretty good value here. That's because Denmark's been pretty good on the defensive side. They've had to rely on their defense this whole tournament. Germany, in my opinion, will find a way to score. They have scored against every team this tournament. And Denmark have scored 2 and conceded 2 in 3 games, which show you their offense has been kind of lackluster. Like I said, they've had to rely on their defense, and they managed to get second place even though they drew all 3 games. So they haven't even been able to win a game, and I don't expect them to beat Germany at all. And it's just whether or not we can avoid a draw here, and I think we will. Like I said, Germany have found a way to score against every team, and I don't know if Denmark can even score against this Germany side. They've been pretty good, and it's Germany at home, again, the only team in this tournament that is playing at home. And they have good firepower. Obviously, they have Havertz, Gundogan, they have Havertz, they have Musiala, and even players that can play off the bench. Obviously, Fulkrug, they have Sane, they have Bayer, and even players that they haven't used it like Undov. And I can see this being like a 1-0, 2-0 win to Germany. Even if it's a 1-0, I can see it being some type of like solo goal, Musiala or something like that. I just like the mark that you're getting here, the value that you're getting here. I like the Germany money line against Denmark. Thank you everybody for watching. If you could like the video, and if you have some extra time, could you comment? It helps boost the video out to more people. And if you do subscribe and you do like the content, please subscribe. And if you can, to make sure to turn on post notifications, that way you get notified exactly when I post these videos. Like I mentioned, lines tend to move after I post these videos and stuff like that. If I do have more plays that I do like, which I probably will, you can always come back to the YouTube description, and that's where I add them an hour to 30 minutes before the game. And I might not add them for every game, but if I do find something that I do like, I'll make sure to add it there. But other than that, I hope everybody has a good night, a good day, and we can cash out and have a good day tomorrow.